There we go. Hello and welcome to the Whole Being Healing Podcast. I'm Lisa Warner. I'm the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing and co-creator with Mara for Lisa and Mara's Magical Mystery School for Whole Being Healers.
And I'm Marley S. I am co-author with my husband Keith of the Seven Steps to Successful Relationships and co-creator with Lisa of the Mystery School and Whole Being Healing. And we are having a great time with that, and we're having a great time with life right now. It's a beautiful day here in the Adirondack Mountains in northern New York. Summer has finally happened. Yay! And yeah, welcome to the call. And today we want to talk about we shall see. We shall see. How do we see? What do we see? What do we want to see? Are we seeing what we want to see? How does that all work?
Are we seeing the illusion or are we seeing reality?
hmm So yeah, what are you seeing and are you choosing what you want to see? We were talking earlier today about being able to choose how we feel, where we've all been programmed to believe that feelings come from things that happen outside of us or inside our bodies or whatever, or from other people doing things or saying things, and then we feel a certain way because of that. Where now we have learned, those of us who have opened our minds to this knowledge, have learned that we actually can choose our feelings. We can decide how we want to feel, and then we can just feel it. And yeah, it takes a while to kind of get that brainwashing out of the way to be able to do that. And so, feeling and seeing, same thing. We can choose what we want to see. In fact, we are choosing, we are bringing into our field being that which we can take in with our senses, right? That which comes into our lives at any given time. We are seeing what we have chosen to see, whether we were aware of it or not, whether we consciously chose it or not. Right, Lisa?
That's it. Feeling is a frequency. And everything is frequency, and the universe is constantly mirroring our frequency. So what we believe, what we pay attention to, those are the things that show up in our reality. And we think that we're just responding to the reality around us, but we're actually creating the reality around us. We're generating that. So it's extremely important to take command of our attention point, to intentionally look for the things that we would like to see, intentionally look at the things that we don't want to see in that so that we can see where are those things coming from because we don't want them in our reality. And if we ignore that and we just simply turn a blind eye and not pay attention to what is it that's generating that, we won't see what's generating it and we'll just keep being stuck in it. So
Yep.
there's a lot to vision. There's a lot to seeing, and there is a great difference between looking and seeing.
Yeah. It's really cool right now because at this time, we've been in a time for a very long time where there has been all this programming, this agenda, these, forces that have kind of gotten us to unwittingly agree to focus on certain things that really are not for our best interest and create things in the world that aren't really feeling so great. I haven't really felt so great. And at this time, those things are kind of fading away, crumbling, imploding, whatever you want to call it, shifting. And so we actually have more of us now than ever who are talking about what we're talking about right now, who are choosing ourselves to see what we want to see, who are choosing to teach others how to see what they want to see. And so for those who are listening, and for those who have eyes to see, those who are open, there's a great opportunity right now to start shifting from that, from the old way to the new way, right? Or to continue shifting if we've already started, but to do it at a greater level.
Yeah, especially when it comes to our health, you know, so many of us are, have been experiencing health issues. We look out at the world and we see a lot of dis-ease in the world. And this is something that we are generating for ourselves. And the disease that they label as problems with our bodies, it's not just dropping out of the sky into our bodies necessarily.
Some might say it is.
Right? Or is now.
Which can, and again, that's just one example of, there can be chemicals in the air that are affecting us, and then we can believe that they're causing a disease, and we may help create that happening, but we can also create something different.
Right? We have the ability to generate health. And in order to generate health, it is absolutely crucial that we are standing in our own authority with our eyes and ears wide open so that we are fully aware of what's going on around us and within us.
hmm and using our inner vision, because that is, people talk about the third eye. And that is the vision of Source. That is the vision of the soul. That is the true vision where we can create and see whatever we want to see. And it's so interesting because, I've been working on restoring my natural vision of my eyesight,
Mm,
which is different than the third eye vision. But it's very interesting being in that process and, making the declaration, asking, what is it that I haven't wanted to see that's caused my eyes to become the way they are?
mm,
What is it that I haven't been looking at the details of, or, something like that? And then where does inner vision come into this? And how am I able to actually see? So right now I'm like looking above my glasses outside, and I can see. I could look at the screen and see too. But it's very interesting because the places where I have the hardest time seeing are on these screens.
mm.
Whereas in the natural world, it's pretty good. I don't so much need them anymore. But yeah, this inner eye, this inner vision can be intuition, and it can also be conscious envisioning, right? Conscious imagining, envisioning, choosing what we want to see, seeing it in our mind's eye
Mm.
so that we can then see it from our physical eyes.
Right? The reality around us is a projection from our mind's eye. It is what gets projected out onto the view screen of our life. So we each have a tremendous amount of control over that. Yet we have been led to believe that we don't have any control, that there are people who are in control of the world, people who make all the great big decisions of the world, people who are experts who know better than we do about what our bodies are doing or what's wrong with us or people who give us a degree that, then tell us that, oh, now you're worthy of doing X, Y, or Z. Now you're smart enough or whatever.
Right?
Like, right? It's like we have been trained to place our own personal power and our own authority outside ourselves into the authorities. Well, guess what, folks? You are the only authority in your reality.
And that's good news because you are an awesome authority, and it's just been covered up. It's just been kind of hidden. We've hidden it from ourselves. We've allowed it to be hidden from us. We've hidden it from ourselves. And the cool thing is that the more of us that are waking up to this, the more of us that are taking responsibility for this and choosing this, the more I think that we stand in our own authority and get the feel for what that feels like, get the understanding of what it is, get to really see what that means, be open to seeing it, and then allow it to come into our vision and become clear, then what I'm noticing this in my creative vision, okay, because I'm envisioning it, but I'm also starting to notice a little bit, for reals, is that these so-called authority figures, these people in positions of authority, a lot of whom have just been taught to believe what they believe and to believe that them being in that position of authority makes sense and is okay and helps people. I'm not saying it never does help people to have someone in, a service position where they can help people, but this whole authoritative thing and thinking that you know better than somebody else knows about their own body or about their own life, that's a different matter. And so some of these people in these positions of so-called authority are also starting to become aware and feel that just something doesn't feel quite right. Or they're starting to hear things from people like us who are willing to now start saying things about this because we're learning how to do it in a peaceful and loving way rather than in the way that we were conditioned and programmed and taught to do, which was, arguing and fighting and all that stuff. We're not doing that anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, and now this is the time, this is the age of personal responsibility. And for a very, very long time, all of the authorities didn't have any personal responsibility. They weren't held accountable for any of their actions. They could just do anything they wanted to do, and nobody would say boo. But now boo is being said, and many of these people are starting to hightail it out of their positions. So, things in the world are changing, and we are starting to recognize that we each have far more power and personal authority than we have ever been allowed to know. And, this is great news because this is where we get to take our lives back. This is where we get to take our health back. This is where we get to start creating the world that we wish to live in, not living in a world that somebody else has created for their own benefit and at our expense. So there's no more of that. This will not fly anymore because people are now being held accountable for their actions. And algorithmic molecular law, universal law, the universal ledger is always keeping track. It is always keeping score, not in a surveillance kind of way, but in a balancing the scales kind of way.
Right? Because the authority that we have is authority over our own lives, over our own experience, not over other people, not over anybody else. It's each of us individually. It's each of us uniquely and specifically for ourselves. And so, yes, that molecular law, that divine law, natural law, people call it a lot of different things, but that actual law of how things work in the physical dimension, um, it works it works either way. Just like we were saying at the beginning, we're creating uh our experience one way or the other, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously. And if we consciously or unconsciously try to infringe on the creation of somebody else when they're just doing their thing, then that won't go well for us either.
Right.
And we're learning to see that. We're learning to see, this is where the whole relationships thing comes in. I was talking about this earlier today. It's so rich. It's such an opportunity. I used to say this tongue in cheek, right? Um, another growth opportunity, right? But these days, I know the value of that. Taking responsibility for myself and not trying to throw things onto somebody else or something outside of me is so much better. It's so much better for me, and it's so much better for everyone. That's what creates what we really want to see.
Right. We all really ultimately want the same thing. We want to be healthy. We want to be happy. We want to be peaceful. We want to be free. We want to be feeling like we are fulfilled and making a contribution. We want to feel like life is worthwhile. We want to feel like we matter, that we make a difference, that people care about us. Like we all want the same things. And well, at least all of us that are that are working on the side of the light, we all want the same things. And those are the things that we want.
Yeah, the other ones just got a little diluted. They lost their way, I suppose.
Mhm.
And who knows, maybe they'll find it again, maybe not. But regardless of that, we we're creating now. We're calling the shots now. So what does that look like? What do we want to see?
Right? So when
We
we
can
call the
see.
shots, it means we there are no more shots of any kind.
Right? Love that. What's up? Maybe, I don't know, little shots of some herbal remedy or something, some yummy, a shot of wheatgrass or
We'll call it something different though.
right? Yeah.
A
Turning.
remedy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? No more war, no more war analogies, no more fighting, no more
Mhm.
infighting, outfighting, no more arguing, no, all of these things make us sick. They make us ill. They literally kill us. How many more people are going to have to die at the hands of shots, no matter what type of shots they are? How many people are going to continue to perish because they don't have their eyes open, because they're not actually looking to see what's happening, and they're
No more.
not seeing the power that they have to change things.
It's so funny because you were just saying no more of this, no more of this, no more of this. And I was hearing no more, KNOW, no more.
Ah, nice.
Because earlier we were talking about, as we were growing up, people would say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. And maybe some people are still saying that, but I think more and more people are saying, I'll see it when I believe it. And then we've even gone beyond that in the work that we're doing because belief is generally the programming. And what we teach is inner knowing. What we teach is the clarity of being directly connected to source and knowing what's real and knowing what's actually happening. And so, no more. When we know more, there will be no more of that shenanigans, right?
Yes, I love it.
I'm starting to get the word things like you, Lisa.
Yeah.
You've influenced me. You've corrupted my mind in a really good way. Thank you. But I
Corrupted
always
the
liked
old
words.
corrupt programming.
I always liked words anyway. I think that's one of the reasons why we're a match to work together because you've been playing with words in a lot of ways and I have in other ways. And now we're kind of bringing the two together.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah, so what do we want to see? What are we creating? What does the world look like? This is what we were just talking about in our class today with our students. What does the natural world, what does the divine matrix, the um,
What does a
original,
healthy world look
yeah,
like? What does
yeah,
a healthy, prosperous, thriving humanity look like? What does a healthy, prosperous, thriving environment look like? What does it feel like?
yes, yeah, because that's how we create it. We create it by seeing it.
We have to envision it first. We have to we have to imagine it because that's how everything comes into physical form existence.
Yeah.
It comes through the imagination. The imagination is the tool that we use for creation.
And that's different than like the kind of thoughts that most of us have been used to thinking. Thoughts about, oh, what should I be doing right now? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with them? Who's right? Who's wrong? All of these kind of things. The creative thought feels totally different. So when we are using creative thought to see what we want to see and then allow ourselves to be shown how to create it, that's a whole different thing. That's pretty cool.
right? Health is something that we must create. It's not something that just happens by default when we're, following the programming, because the programming is designed for disease. So if we do not have our eyes open, if we are just walking blindly through life, following orders, doing what we're told, doing going to ask your doctor, like we are on the road to disease, period. Like there really is no other option for experience other than disease when you're following that model because it's built for that very purpose. It's a
Right,
business model, it's not a health model. So,
right.
in order to generate a healthy, happy humanity, a healthy, happy, thriving world, we have to envision it first. We have to focus on it.
Yep. Yeah, because that whole model of disease, it's disease and prevention of disease, right? So people think, well, we shouldn't just
Same
be dealing
thing.
with, right? We shouldn't just be like, but see, that was the progression that happened. First, it was, oh, these diseases, we're going to get treatment for them now. We're going to get diagnosed and treated. And then it was like, well, we really should be focusing on prevention. I remember when I grew up, there was a magazine that my
Right.
mom used to get called
Oh,
Prevention, right? So that was more the natural way. That was more the thing we wanted to be focused on. Well, the whole medical system took that thing and turned it into, oh, prevention. We want to, well, early detection of all these different diseases. We're going to do this and prod you and poke you and give you all these tests to try and find things. Is that really what we want to be doing?
right. But
We want to
prevention is still focused on disease,
still focus on disease
right?
instead of
Disease
what
is
is
still the topic.
right.
Health
What
is not, we have to focus on health. We can't be focused on disease and prevention because it's the same thing.
right, right. What does radiant health look like? How does it feel? How do I create it? How do I allow it? Because we
That's
don't
it.
even have to create it. We just have
Already
to
been
stop
created.
doing the things that stop it from happening on its own. It happens naturally.
Yep. Yeah. So, what are you, who is watching this today? Thank you very much for watching. What are you focused on? What are you looking for? What are you seeing? Is what you are looking at real? Is what you are seeing real? And how do you know?
Right? One way I know is if it's pleasing me or not.
Mhm.
If it feels good, it's probably real. If it doesn't feel good, it probably isn't.
Mhm.
And that's going to seem simplistic to some people, I'm sure. It's like, oh, so bad things aren't real? Not in the way that we are being conditioned to think about them.
Mhm. They're
They're not real in
completely
that way.
changeable. Yeah. Yeah, it is, reality is we're each creating our own reality. There really isn't a collective reality. It's the fact that so many people are shown the same image and then focused on the same image of what the world is. So that's what gets generated, it's what gets out pictured. But there are more and more of us that are generating heaven on earth, and we don't have any real connection to the chaos and confusion that's happening in the world. We don't have any need to follow external authorities. We don't have any need to interface with those systems for the most part,
Right? So what does that look like? And
right?
that's how you get there. Imagine what that looks like to not be tied into those systems, to not be supporting things like war, to not be supporting things that don't serve us, that don't, support life. What does that look like? What does it feel like? How do we do it? There's people doing it. We're doing it. A
Yeah.
bunch of other people are doing it. More and more people are doing it. So just know it's happening
Yeah.
and you can do it too.
Yeah. It is absolutely possible. And it feels amazing when you're able to really consciously generate the things that you wish to experience: peace, ease, joy, abundance, health.
Mm.
These are things that are under our command. They're under our control. We have far more control over our reality than the controllers who think they are, would want us to know. So we have to stop listening to those loud voices that are screaming louder and louder every day, trying to make sure that we're all listening to those voices and seeing them on the big screen and on the little screens. And we have to take command of our focus, and we
Yep.
have to choose what we look at and what we see.
And that's the cool thing too, is that more and more people are doing that.
Yep.
You don't necessarily hear about it. You don't necessarily because, they don't want you to know that. But I don't know if we shared about this before, but Lisa and I were at an event a month or two ago, a couple months ago, here in our community. And we were speaking to someone at a table who was registering people to vote and talking about, and we were like, oh, well, we were just like super sweet and joyful saying, yeah, we don't vote. And this woman was so interested. She was like, why? I want to understand. I mean, it was actually really cool that she really wanted to understand. She did want us to register to vote. She did want
Yeah.
us to vote.
At
She
first, she
felt,
was quite appalled. Like, what do you
yeah.
mean you don't vote?
Yeah, I didn't get there till after that. It's probably a good thing because when I came in, I had missed that. You had already been talking to her. But the cool thing was she then showed us something on a piece of paper that showed the statistic of the number of people that vote now. And I think it was like somewhere around 50%, give or take. It might have been a little above or a little below, who are actually voting in elections, which to her felt like an awful thing. And to us, we were like, wow, that's actually awesome.
Right?
Because unfortunately, people think that if people aren't voting, they're apathetic, they don't care, they're not doing anything to help create change. But there are more and more people every day who are doing things kind of under the radar, out of the public eye. It's not obvious yet how many things are being done that are creating change, where, that other way, if you really look at it,
Right? Just
it
by
isn't really
voting, you're
great.
giving permission for these people. You're saying, yes, I want you to make decisions for me. Yes, I want to make you the president of the corporation because, America and all the other countries, they're actually corporations. They're not land masses, as we've been led to believe. And it's all about business. Politics is business, and it's big business, and it's not for our benefit. It's only for the benefit of the politicians and big corporations. And, and war is a very profitable business. And in order for that business to prosper, there has to be wars. And if we are voting for the next president of the corporation, that corporation, we're saying we give you carte blanche permission to do whatever you want to do to make that corporation thrive. And unfortunately, the corporation thrives at our expense. So no, we will not vote for that. That's not gonna happen.
Right. And they're all really good actors. Not to say there aren't people in that system who are really trying to do good. There are a few, probably not that many, but a few. But unfortunately, um, they make it look like, even though we see all the corruption, they make it look like the corruption is only on one side or the other. If you really allow yourself to open up and look at what both sides are doing, because they kind of separate both sides. So like everyone who's on your social media feed is in the camp that you're in, maybe one or two outliers here and there, and you're like, oh, that one's crazy. Don't listen to them. but you're only seeing it from that viewpoint. And then the other ones are seeing it just as strongly as you from the other viewpoint. And that's because that's the way the system is designed to be, to make it look like the corruption and the problems are only from one side and not the other. But
Mhm.
it's both sides. It's the whole thing,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah, they're playing good cop, bad cop with us. But
Yep.
unfortunately, we don't need to be policed. We don't need to live in a police state. It's not healthy for us. It's not a happy, healthy, thriving environment. And all we have to do is look out at the health of the land, look at the health of the air, the water, the people, and we see that it is not a healthy matrix. And and it's up to us to change it. The politicians will never change it because they don't benefit from changing it. So, in order for us to benefit, we're the ones that have to change it.
Right. And that's another thing that they create such an such an illusion. They're really good at this. That whoever's in the office of, president or whatever the other ones are around the president will do something. They say, look what they did. Look what he did. He's creating change. Somebody will say that. The other one will say, look what he did. It's awful. And they'll see it however they see it. But even if it is something that's creating change, then the next one comes in and flips it back. So it's like change is happening. Maybe it's happening. If it's happening, it's happening at like the smallest snail's pace you could even imagine. We can do so much better than that,
Yeah, change for the better. Destruction is happening at a rapid pace. It
right?
has been. So,
Yeah,
because so many have just turned a blind eye. People are not looking to see. They're told this is for your benefit. We're creating these solar farms, we're creating these data centers, this is all for your benefit. Yeah, no, none of it is for our benefit. It's all for our detriment. And, if you are inclined to call us crazy conspiracy theorists, well, this is an invitation to look, to actually look beyond the programming, beyond what they've taught you to just look at, because they teach us to have just knee-jerk reactions. They teach us to have automatic responses and conspiracy theory, whatever, that's an automatic response. Or, look at whatever the responses are that they've programmed into us. So it's really easy to just turn off your awareness, to not actually look and have a conversation, have a real conversation about what's going on. Don't just make a fast assumption that,
right,
oh, these people are wrong, these people are right, whatever. Actually choose for yourself. Open your own eyes.
right. Which
What
is
does the
not
world look like?
right, and it feels unnatural, even though it's the most natural thing. But we've been conditioned not to do it. We've been conditioned to be pulled one way or the other, to listen to someone and feel it, and say, oh, that must be it. And I remember when I started to look at because growing up and being a young adult, you kind of get pulled into whatever the group you're with is believing. So I was around a lot of people on one side of the political spectrum, and so that was just what I knew. And they all, because of the way they all passionately believed and the way they all looked at it, it was all very well intended. I was like, okay, well, that makes sense, right? And then when I got to the point where I started to be more involved with people on the other side of the political spectrum. And I never was political at all, but it's just a matter of like, who are you hanging out with? What kinds of things are you doing? And what kinds of things are they talking about and feeling are important, right? And so all of a sudden, I was with another crowd of people who were feeling different things were important. And the way they were saying it, same thing, passionate, totally made sense. I was like, wow, yeah, that makes sense too. And so I kind of got pulled that way for a while. And then I realized, wait a minute. Neither one of these, like we, not only is neither one of the political sides of the political spectrum, right or wrong or good or bad or whatever, but even in the middle, it's like it's not even about being in the middle. It's about being here and here and connecting to our source and connecting to our knowing and discerning for ourselves based on all of that.
Right? That's where the health lies. That's the sweet spot. That's where we stand in our own authority. That's where we become the expert in all things regarding our own lives. As soon as we
Yeah.
give control of our life to somebody else, then we are under their control. And it usually doesn't work out well for us.
Well, and that's the part that feels the hardest of all because it feels like, well, maybe I should just withdraw myself completely. And
Hmm.
I've done that too. Okay, I'm out of this.
Right.
I'm not gonna I got completely off Facebook for years because I was just like, I can't deal with any of them. It's just like everybody has to be right. Everybody's, just freaking out about everything. And I am just like, I'm gonna take myself out of it completely. And in a way that was good for me to do, but I also wasn't doing what I'm here to do
Yeah.
and wasn't discovering what I'm here to do. And the healing process, that's a huge part of the healing process that we're all going to have to get jiggy with. Because, like, standing in our power is not something we have felt comfortable doing because we're afraid that that means having power over someone and it doesn't.
Right. And the powers that were would always make it bad if we stood in our power. Look what
Right.
happened. People got strung up on crosses. They got burned at the stake.
Yep.
Standing in your power, being in alignment with God, with source, with, nature. That was it was risky business.
But so is life, and so is following the system the way it is. I mean, look at that. Look at all the people that are, you know, injured, killed, whatever. Like that's what I came to because I had that
Yeah,
same fear, just like
wrong.
you did.
All of
We have
us.
all had it, right? We've all had that same fear. If I speak up about things that people don't want to hear or people don't understand, then I'm going to be a target. I'm going to be in danger. But you
Hmm.
know what? If I don't, I'm in danger. If I
Yeah,
don't, everyone's in danger.
yeah,
So the more of us that start looking at these things and we come together too. That's another thing. We can come together, but not be a mob, not be like we all believe the same things. It's like, no, we don't believe anything. We know that we're each individuals and that we each need to discern for ourselves. And we know what then the things we agree on are peace and love.
right,
Those are pretty universal.
right. And once you have done some of the inner work, once you connect to your soul, once you connect back into source, once you start to recognize your soul purpose, like why are you here? Why have you been chosen to be on this planet at this time? Once you start walking your own path, once you start walking with Creator, then you are on your own journey. Like you don't want to interfere in other people's lives. You don't want to cause problems on the planet. You just you walk your own path. You walk side by side with others who are walking in the same direction, but you start taking command of your own life journey because your journey is unique and you're the only one that can walk that path. It's
That's it.
yours to walk.
Yep. And we've talked about, the new leaders, and this is what defines the new leaders. And it is quite new. I mean, I'm sure throughout the ages there have been a few here and there that maybe said this, but m most of the leaders are saying, this is the way. This is the way for everyone. You have to do it this way, and that's what works. But there's another way, your way.
Yeah. True
And the leaders
leaders.
that know that are not te teaching you their way, they're teaching you to know your way.
Yeah, true leaders help you discover your own path. True leaders help everyone thrive. True leaders care about the health and prosperity of others and the earth. And, we have not been modeled true leaders at all. So it's time for us to recognize what a true leader is. And it's up to each one of us to lead ourselves back into our own path.
Yeah. And that's what Lisa and I are doing now. We're doing that for ourselves. We're doing it with each other, and now we're doing it with Whole Being Healing in the Mystery School, and we're attracting those who are in alignment with that. We're attracting people who are ready to do that, ready to connect, ready to learn, ready to practice. Well, what does that look and feel like? And how can we support each other in that?
Right.
So, yep, that's what we're doing.
Yep, we're attracting those who have their eyes open, who want to open them even further, and really vision a beautiful future for humanity. The ones who are seeing what's working and what's not working, and the ones who are seeing who know their ability to heal their own bodies, to heal themselves, and they see that once they heal themselves and know how to heal themselves, they can help others to heal themselves as well. And then they
Mhm.
simply become leaders. They help each other because this is what we do as humans. We help each
Mhm.
other.
Right. And we don't need to know what the process looks like. We just need to know what the result looks like and feels like. What does it look and feel like when I'm healed completely? What does it look and feel like when I don't have any of these issues that I've had and that I've been told I have to have or that can't be cured or that, I need to do I need to fix it. What does it look and feel like when those are just lifted and swept away and are true, beautiful, healthy, vibrant, balanced, powerful, radiant, joyful selves come through? We just need to see that, just start seeing that. And then we come together and we allow ourselves to see each step of the way getting there, and it shows up each step of the way.
And it is beautiful.
It
It,
is.
it is a sight to see.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So
Well,
we
this is
ask you
fun.
again, what are you seeing? What is your vision? What are you looking at? What are you seeing? And what do you want to see? What are you creating? And if you need assistance in visioning your path, in seeing a brighter future for yourself, reach out to us. This is what we do. This is how we help.
Yep.
Whole being healing, healing all parts of yourself.
That's right. Wellbeinghealing.life. Because we are here to support life in its fullest expression,
Yeah.
in its true essence. So here to support you in that. So if you align with us, yeah, come connect with us and see how you might fit into this picture and how we might be able to play together.
Well, thank you all so much for watching today. Hopefully, this was a fun conversation for you. We always enjoy having these conversations. We have them all the time. It's super fun for us. We hope you enjoyed it today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel. Please share this with others. And help us grow our community as well.
Yeah, we appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. And
All right.
meanwhile, happy
Happy
healing.
healing. Bye for now.